Okay, in this lesson we'll look at how to change any small number into scientific notation. So there's rules here in the screen, and then we'll practice it 3 times. So here we're given a number 0.00468. We're trying to change this into scientific notation. We want our first number between 1 and 10, and we want times 10 to the power of, and because we're using small numbers we're going to use negative values. So the first thing to do is to create your first number between 1 and 10, and you get that from this bit here. Just looking at that bit there, that says 468, but to generate a number between 1 and 10 you just put the decimal point after the first digit here, not in the zeros but just after the first digit of these ones. So that goes to 4.68. You then want to write down this bit, all of this, so that equals 4.68 times 10 to the power of, and we basically have to work out how many jumps the decimal point has moved. So if I place my decimal point here between the 4, I'll make that a different colour actually, blue, here, that's where we've placed it, between the 4 and the 6, and it needs to move backwards, i.e. a negative value or a division, so it needs to move back 1, 2, 3 places, and that's why we've got a negative 3 there. Power is negative 3 because the decimal point moves backwards in the opposite direction by 3 places. Or you can look at it here, you can see it starts there and moves 1, 2, 3 places to get in between the 4 and the 6. Right, let's see if we can do this in some examples. So the first one here, we've got 0.00 blah 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 all the way to 5. So your first number between 1 and 10 is just a 5. You can just use that. So we've got 5 times 10, and we notice to a negative power because we're dividing. Now the decimal point in this case will start after the 5 and jump backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it'll go backwards all the way to the dot here where the decimal point is. It doesn't go to the start of the number, just to here. And if you count up the zeros, then the zeros, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so the number of zeros is exactly the same as the number of jumps backwards you have to make. So let's see if that works every time. So the first number, here's the second example, the first number you have to create is between 1 and 10. So let's look at the 71 there. So to create a number between 1 and 10, you're going to put a decimal point in here, so 7.1 times 10. It's a small digit, so it needs to be a negative power, a small number, so negative something. Right, so let's put the decimal point in here, because that's where we've got it, between the 7 and the 1, and we have to count how many jumps it has to go back to get to here. Now what you're dividing by. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 jumps backwards, so negative 15. Let's count the number of zeros and see if it's exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So an easy way to do this is just to count the zeros. Right, last example. This is the wavelength of green light will change. So it's 0.000000552 meters. We want to change this into scientific notation. Again, take your digit part at the end, 552. We want to create a number between 1 and 10. So put a decimal point here after the first digit, 5.52. Times 10 to the power of, Okay, let's just count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so -7. Done. And if you don't like that method, you could put the decimal point in and count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.